This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, today is the last day of what was a jam-packed legislative session that included some controversial proposals and the censure of two Maine representatives.
Before they adjourned and hit the campaign trails, our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard caught up with lawmakers who shared their thoughts on the 131st Maine legislature.
If you go in the military or you go off to college, they call it Hell Week. Well, this is what I call the last week of the legislature.
Wednesday, April 17th marks the statutory adjournment day, or the last day of the 131st legislature. We caught up with lawmakers to get their thoughts on how the session went and if they accomplished everything they wanted to.
I think it's been extremely productive. I know that there's been some last-minute ruffles.
I was so disappointed as a freshman legislator that we couldn't move things forward that would help Mainers, that would lower costs for Mainers, that would lower taxes for Mainers.
We've accomplished a lot of work. We continue to support our educators, the schools, by funding at 55%. We did a lot with affordable housing, property tax relief.
When the legislature adjourns, there will be a number of bills left on the table. It's under the discretion of the governor whether or not she wishes to call the legislature into a special session to finish their work. On Tuesday, Governor Mills sent a letter to lawmakers saying, quote, "I want to be clear, the answer is an unequivocal no. The legislature must find a way to complete its work, including passing a supplemental budget before statutory adjournment." Lawmakers would have to resubmit any bills left on the table, as well as any other legislative priorities in the 132nd legislature.
Well, I think we got to continue working on jobs and education, healthcare, making sure those investments are protected. And the jobs, education, healthcare have always been my top priorities.
Nursing homes, mental health. We've had some real mental health crisis here in the state of Maine. So those are some things that I'm going to be looking at in the upcoming legislature. I want to see what the funding does this year that we're putting forward.
I think we all need some time to breathe and then come back refreshed, talk to people in our community, see what their needs and wants are, and then come back with those issues.
First and foremost, we need to get the voters to the polls and hopefully get more Republicans here to make it more balanced in our decision making. Right now, it's a majority of Democrats, and they can move their principles and their programs forward full steam.
And now the legislators will hit the campaign trail as all 186 seats are up for grabs this November. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A $30 million bond for Maine's trails passed through the legislature with overwhelming support on Tuesday. The measure passed in the House by a vote of 133 to 6, and then in the Senate by a vote of 29 to 3. This would be the first time Mainers would have the chance to vote on a trails bond, and if approved, that bond would provide $30 million over 4 years to maintain and improve Maine's current trails, as well as designing some new ones. Advocates have been pushing for lawmakers to send the initiative to voters and say the influx of money will help almost every industry in the state.
We're excited. Those are terrific votes for the people of Maine, for communities across the state who were asking the legislature to approve the bond, place it on the November ballot, so the people of Maine can vote and may be the deciders on whether to invest $30 million over the next 4 years in the development, design, and maintenance of trails. This will pass in November, I am confident. Maine people love our trails, and there's also this opportunity to invest in our trails and make Maine one of the top-tier states in the country that's known for incredible trails.
Well, if signed by Governor Mills, it will appear on November's ballot for Maine voters to have the final say.
A research and development bond will be going to Maine voters this November. On Tuesday, the Maine Senate voted 25 to 7 to enact a bill that would invest $25 million for research, development, and commercialization through bonding. The bill was passed by the House earlier in the month. Senator Teresa Pierce of Falmouth, who sponsored the bill, said she's eager for voters to have a say. She said, quote, "Maine needs to invest in our research and development industries, including but certainly not limited to biomedical technology, renewable energy, advanced technologies for forestry and agriculture, and precision manufacturing. Investing in these industries means supporting Maine's economic potential," end quote.
In other news tonight, the Maine Warden Service is investigating an ATV crash in Sangerville that killed an 11-year-old boy. About 4:15 Tuesday afternoon, wardens were called to an ATV crash on the East Sangerville Road. Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife spokesperson Mark Lottie says it appears the boy had been helping with chores at a neighbor's property and had gone for an ATV ride. When he didn't return, the neighbor went to look for the boy and found him on the trail unresponsive with the ATV on top of him. The neighbor called 911 and got help to remove the ATV. Lottie says CPR was performed by those at the scene and emergency medical personnel, but they were unable to save that boy. The crash is still under investigation.
A man found not criminally responsible for killing his brother by reason of insanity in 2008 is once again petitioning for independence from state custody. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
After nearly 2 decades of being under state custody, 39-year-old Enoch Petroselli is seeking total independence from the state.
He's been a safe, responsible citizen since 2009.
Petroselli was found not criminally responsible by reason of insanity for stabbing his brother to death in 2008 on a visit to North Haven Island. He was then committed to the Riverview Psychiatric Center in Augusta, where members of his medical team testified he was treated for schizophrenia. Since then, he has been under the custody of the Commissioner of the Department of Health and Human Services.
He has his own support system, his own medical providers, and he's able to take care of himself. He doesn't need the oversight of the government.
This is not the first time Petroselli has petitioned for discharge, as a previous request was denied in 2022. According to testimony from his current case manager, the outpatient service team at Riverview does not support the petition for discharge and say they need more time to evaluate if he is a risk to himself or society.
Something to which the state would not be opposed is a gradual loosening of those contacts.
During the hearing, mental health officials said part of their analysis on whether he poses a threat has included reviewing his spiritual practices that he highlights in the 4 books he's written and his YouTube channel where he claims to channel spirits. However, the defense says he has proven not to be a threat to society and is dedicated to treating his mental state.
If the petition is denied, we'll regroup, gather more evidence, and petition sometime in the future.
No decision has been reached as the judge will continue to review the evidence. In Augusta, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, a bill to protect against frivolous lawsuits has become law. Senator Mike Tipping of Orono sponsored the act that expands protections for individuals and organizations. Tipping said, quote, by better shielding people and media outlets from baseless retaliatory lawsuits, Maine can create a more vibrant and democratic public sphere, lessen the burden on our courts, and make sure the justice system cannot be used as a weapon by the wealthy and unethical. This new law will make a difference for Mainers who exercise their First Amendment rights, end quote.
Another setback for Nordic Aqua Farms as the Belfast City Council voted 4-1 to vacate the eminent domain order they put in place more than 2 years ago. Our Doug Banks explains what that order would have done and what happens next.
On Tuesday night, residents gathered inside Belfast City Hall to voice their disapproval of the proposed access Norwegian-based Nordic Aqua Farms had to Penobscot Bay. Access that would have been made possible through an eminent domain order the City Council approved back in August of 2021. Nordic Aqua Farms raises salmon indoors for human consumption only. The company approached Belfast in 2018 about building their operations along Little River. In August of 2021, the City Council passed an eminent domain order, effectively giving the company access to Penobscot Bay for their discharge and intake pipes. The order took intertidal land away from Jeffrey Mabee and Judith Grace, and in February of last year, the Maine Supreme Judicial Court ruled the company does not rightfully own the land. According to Executive Director of the nonprofit Upstream Watch, Nordic Aqua Farms promised jobs and funds to go towards the city's water district.
I think the council's decision last night, we're recognizing that this project is likely never going to be built. These benefits are probably never going to be built.
With a vote of 4-1 to vacate the eminent domain order, the city attorney must now prepare new paperwork, making the vacated order official. Those documents will be ratified by the City Council during the May 7th council meeting.
The actions they took last night were pretty huge, and we really appreciated them.
We've reached out to Nordic Aqua Farms, but have yet to receive a response. In studio, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, with Maine's Severe Weather Awareness Week starting on the 22nd, it's a good time to remind folks to keep first aid kits up to date. David Greer is CEO of Dry Sea, a company that makes water-resistant bandages. And he says a first aid kit shouldn't just be in your home, but in your car as well. According to a study conducted by the U.S. CDC, 44% of Americans don't have a basic first aid kit, and nearly half of adults in the U.S. don't have the right resources in the event of an emergency. Greer says although those numbers are from a study conducted by the CDC in 2020, they're still relevant today.
They should have a first aid kit, replace it every 6 months, because some of the items in that first aid kit will expire.
Learn more about what should be in your first aid kit. You can visit our website, foxbangor.com. And certainly, we've heard a lot about that too in the face of the severe storms. We've been hearing about what you should have on hand in your home, and then if for some reason you did have to venture out in your vehicle, the provisions you should have in your vehicle in case of an emergency.
Right. You always hear about the water, the blankets, but good to be proactive about the first aid kit.
Yeah.
You never realize you need it until you do.
And making sure the items in that kit are usable.
Exactly.
Alrighty, well, speaking of weather, let's go ahead and take a first check of our forecast and see what's coming our way.
Thank you very much, Beth and Peter. Our first weather is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. It's not just a store, it is an experience. And temperature-wise, though, folks, closer to average, right? Maybe a couple degrees above average here in town. Exactly 2 degrees above average, 56 degrees. A little bit cooler right by Rockland. We did get that breeze off the ocean, and the ocean is still in those mid-40s. So they were into those upper 40s in town. Bar Harbor, kind of like here in town in Bangor. We're talking mid-50s outdoors. Now, of course, we're in April. We're melting all that snow away, but there are still some spots with a little bit of snow on the ground. We're talking a few inches in our most western parts of the state, and same story right at that border of Canada. Look at Quebec, though, just north of Quebec. We're still talking over 8 foot of snow on the ground. Our radar, though, of course, not showing any snow, no rain in the area for now. Just a few passing clouds in our southernmost part of the state, closer to Portland. Speaking of Portland, 14 miles an hour winds out there. We're talking 9 here in town. And then throughout those overnight hours, we're going to be looking at some 30s rolling back in.
Pretty balmy looking overnight right there.
Yeah, another one for us.
Alrighty.
We'll take it. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Devin Dagnall will highlight new student COs at the Penobscot County Jail.
We'll have that story and much more local news coming up.
The Honda you want is here. So drive in the moment with the versatile CR-V or Accord. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful, Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Get a great offer on the stylish Civic or HR-V and drive in the moment. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. An event in Bangor next week will provide free catalytic converter etchings for area vehicle owners. The event is in response to a 2022 law that created engraving and marking requirements for catalytic converters to try to keep them from being stolen, or at least make them easier to trace. Vehicle owners must register in advance for a specific time slot for the event on Tuesday, April 23rd at Eastern Maine Community College in Bangor from 8 a.m. to noon. EMCC students from the Criminal Justice and Automotive Tech programs will assist in the marking of converters. To register, send an email to the address listed right there on your screen.
Well, the Penobscot County Jail has a couple of new officers joining their ranks, but these recruits are just about as green as they can be. Our Devin Dagnall has the details.
There's a lot of different things you might see in the jail. You never really know what you're going to see.
Brooklyn Brown and Ashley Goodwin are two of the newest correctional officers at the Penobscot County Jail, but there's something interesting about them. They're both still in school.
This program has given you way more than I have ever imagined.
Brown and Goodwin are both first-year students of Eastern Maine Community College's Criminal Justice Program. The two were introduced to their new positions last December while on a trip with their class to the jail.
They were talking about how understaffed they were, and I was like, well, do you guys have an application? I'm kind of looking for a new job.
Despite being first-year students, the duo claim they're more than prepared for their jobs and are eager to tackle any challenges they may come across. Goodwin says their education from EMCC has been indispensable during this whole process.
Everything that I've used here, I have had to use over there.
Despite staffing shortages law enforcement faces across the board, Brown and Goodwin are optimistic about those coming up through the ranks with them and acknowledge it's opportunities like the ones given at the jail and EMCC that make better officers.
And my biggest thing with wanting to be an officer is wanting to make a difference. I know that the more people we can get involved, the more people that are willing to work together, then the more we will have to work together in the field.
In Bangor, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, and still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll have a preview of this Saturday's highly anticipated Kenduskeag Extreme Race.
And in sports, Maine men's basketball will open the season against Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils. Head coach Chris Markwood's thoughts are right after the break.
An important message for Americans age 50 to 85.
Oh my gosh, you're still using Mom's old coffee pot.
It's my inheritance.
Well, it is a family heirloom.
You know what? The kids can just sell it to pay for my funeral.
It's a good thing you have life insurance.
Life insurance with our family history.
Don't you know about Colonial Penn? It's guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance with no medical questions asked.
I'm on a fixed income.
Who isn't?
You have it?
We all do. John, Maria, even Paul with all of his medical problems.
Colonial Penn.
That's right. Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. As you get older, your health may change. Colonial Penn understands that. And we don't think it should keep you from getting life insurance to help protect your family. That's why we guarantee acceptance to everyone aged 50 to 85. No health questions, no medical exam. Applying is easy. And you have your choice of options starting at $9.95 a month, a few dollars a week, 35 cents a day. And your price will never go up. A lifetime rate lock guarantees it. This protection can last a lifetime, too. Some insurance policies end once you reach a certain age. Not this one. Pay your bill, and it's yours to keep for as long as you'd like.
How did you apply?
Called for information, got an application, filled it out, sent it back. It took a few minutes. And look at this. They sent me this free beneficiary planner just for calling. I filled in all my important information and final wishes. Now my kids will have everything they need in one place.
Ready to learn more? Call for free information and your free gift. There's no obligation. Every policy we issue comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. Why wait? Call now.
Call 1-800-821-7888 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-821-7888. There's no obligation. 1-800-821-7888. Call now.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the KG.
Stop in for hunting and fishing supplies, apparel, and homemade food.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We're going to start with some basketball news again. News coming out yesterday that Maine men's basketball has a big matchup to open the 2024 season. And today, Chris Markwood sharing his thoughts on that game. The Black Bears will play Duke on November 4th to open the year, heading down to historic Cameron Indoor Stadium to take on Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils. It will be Cooper's first collegiate game, and he'll take on his home state school and his mom's alma mater. And for Maine, Duke is projected to be a top team in the country next year, so it's a great opportunity for both sides.
For us to be down there playing, Cooper in his first game, I think is a pretty special deal. Just from that standpoint, from the state standpoint, and everybody's extremely proud of what he's done up to this point and what he's going to do moving forward. Just excited for our guys to have this opportunity to play in, obviously, in an amazing venue, historic venue against a really good team, and really challenge ourselves right from the gate.
That should be a fun matchup. Let's go to some high school boys lacrosse action Wednesday afternoon. Hamden Academy trying to get their first win of their second ever varsity season. They're hosting the Vikings from Oxford Hills. To Cameron Stadium we go for this one. We're going to start in the first quarter. The Broncos with a man-up advantage, and they are going to take advantage. Keith Brooks to Evan Vives. He rears back and drills a goal that makes it 1-0 Hamden. Later on, the Broncos with another chance. Gabe Thornwall around the defense. He shoots, but a heads-up save by Chase Edmonds, keeping them off the board. Still in the first, Hamden again. Max Nason, the feed to Harrison Shane. He'll run up and bounce this one. That makes it 2-0 Broncos. Nice shot right there. To the second, Vives from behind the net. He catches Josh Soroy. He cuts in and nails one on the doorstep to make it 3-0. Hamden goes on to win 8-6. Let's move on to the baseball diamond now. A midweek matchup here for Maine baseball. They're on the road playing the Warriors from Merrimack. Maine trying to get back in the W column after dropping 2 of 3 to Lowell. They're down 4-0 early here. Warriors have the bases loaded. Frankie Ferrantino at the plate, and he gets all of this one. Sends it over the fence in left center field. That's a grand slam. Maine now down 8-0. 11-2 now. Black Bears have the bases loaded themselves, and Jack Friend smacks this one to left center, going back, and he's got a grand slam of his own. Maine now trails just 11-6. Merrimack would tack on 3, though. Fourth inning now, 2 runners on, and Ferrantino is up again, and he unloads on the baseball again. This one, a 3-run shot for the sophomore, and Maine falls 19-8. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. Here's Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast. Conrad?
Thank you, Tyler. Our Maine weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. And look at this map. We're talking some rain, even heavy at times, right up in the upper Midwest. We did have some severe weather in some spots in Illinois. Once again, we're talking 12 times this year so far Illinois has seen severe weather. Kind of like Oklahoma, right? We would expect it to be a little bit more down south, but Illinois has just been that spot. For us, though, no severe weather. We're just talking a few passing clouds here and there. Of course, no snow with temperatures back in the 50s earlier today. A little bit more rain will be in the area, mainly late Friday night into Saturday. We're talking very light and scattered rain, mainly on the sprinkle side, under 1/10 of an inch. That's in general what we are looking in our state. Now, let's talk temperatures. Right? I've been excited. It's been warm the last 5 days. We've seen some 50s, even a few 60s in the area. 2 days ago on Monday, we had 62 degrees. What a wonderful day. Once again, today, we were above average, so that above average trend is continuing, not only for us. Look at this. We saw some 70s, even some 80s in St. Louis earlier today, and Chicago, not quite in the 80s. They were in the 60s. Washington, D.C. back in the 70s. New York City, they were in the 60s yesterday, back in the 50s for today. So really mild air is here for most of the country. Our average is around 54, so we're going to stay slightly above that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be closer to average. By Sunday, our average is going to be around 56. And then again, once again, above average temperatures Monday into Tuesday. So we're going to be neutral with temperatures, but slightly above average at that. Now, for tonight, though, we are talking mostly clear skies. Temperatures will be hovering at around 30 degrees with a light breeze, so not much to talk about there, just a few passing clouds. Now for tomorrow, what a wonderful day. We're talking mainly sunny skies, very light winds, only an east wind, maybe around 5-10 miles per hour. Temperature-wise though, wow, we're looking at spring-like weather back in the area. Temperatures around 60 degrees. I might go on a bike ride just because it's going to be nice. Now, our extended forecast outlook does show a little bit more clouds in the area by Friday. Temperature-wise, though, slightly cooler back in those mid to upper 50s. Then some sprinkles, maybe some scattered rain showers arrive Friday night. Temperatures in those lower 40s. By Saturday, we're going to be in those upper 50s with some scattered rain showers. It's going to be very, very light. No heavy rain, no severe weather at that. And then by Sunday into Monday, we are going to continue to see less and less clouds and more, speaking of temperatures, right, closer to 60 once again by Monday. Beth and Peter?
Definitely like the look of that.
Yeah, looking pretty good overall.
All righty. Well, there is still more to come. Stay with us.
We've been in this property for 47 years. What I've learned along the way is the better tools you have, the easier the job and the better job you get.
He is a former owner of another brand tractor. He wanted green.
Everything has to be pruned and cut, and there's a lot of stuff that has to get moved. You can't get any more American than John Deere, I don't think.
They don't write songs about any other tractor company. It's John Deere.
Experience United, your local John Deere dealer.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
You know what? When the power goes out, ours doesn't, thanks to RH Foster. We have a generator, and it runs on propane, and it powers the entire house, and we get our propane from RH Foster. Those big storms, the neighborhood lost power for days, but we didn't lose power, not even for a moment. I never worry about running out of propane. RH Foster keeps us topped off. Even if I had a problem, I could call RH Foster, and I can talk to a real person. With propane from RH Foster, power outages are not a problem at our house.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. Just like family, we offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
Welcome back, and finally tonight, excitement is building for the upcoming Kenduskeag Extreme Race. There are around 350 boats registered for the race right now, including kayakers, canoers, and paddleboarders that will all be coming down the 16.5-mile course. Boaters of all ages and abilities are welcome, whether you're really looking to compete or just get in a boat with family and friends and have a good time. The beloved race has been an area outdoor staple for 57 years.
From the beginning, 1963, it started off with 22 people, and it was really low for the first 4 years, but then it started creeping up, and you know, at its highest peak was 1,400 people into the race. And you know, COVID kind of dropped things, but it's going back up. I mean, right now we're at 700, and there's still 3 days left.
Till Friday, you can register online at BangorParksandRec.com or in person at the Parks and Rec Department. On race day, you'll have to go to the Kenduskeag Union Church to register in person, but Gendro says get there early so you don't miss your start time. Just always a really fun thing to highlight every single year.
I mean, Whether you tank right out of your boat or just rock it the whole way down.
Yep.
That's got to be a good time.
Yeah, it just looks like a blast.
Oh man, I'm on it for next year.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Sign
going
us
to
up.
do it. I'm going to wear a GoPro. We're going to crush it.
That'll be awesome.
All righty, folks. That's all for us. Good night.
Good night, everyone.